First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
We're following live breaking developments from a SWAT situation in Virginia Beach.
That in a moment, but first tonight we're going to remember the life and legacy of Peter Decker Jr.
Norfolk Mayor Paul Frame calls Decker the most influential man in Hampton Roads. Uncle Pete, as he's known, died this morning after a long battle with cancer. He was 76 years old. Andy Fox joins us now with a look back at a remarkable life and a friend.
Yeah, it's been one tough day, I'll tell you that. Every time I've done an interview, I've ended up crying myself. I'll tell you, they call it the dash. The dash. That's the dash between your birth and your death. And the dash for Peter Decker was wide and full of achievement and full of love and full of giving back, like all the work he did for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. When you think of Peter Decker Jr., think of Susie Pavlat, a St. Jude child who lost her courageous battle to cancer. Susie's dad, Jack.
It's funny, Susie got to meet Elton John and Billy Joel. And when the reporter asked her, what's really important in your life? Who have you met that's really important? She said, having Peter Decker sing happy birthday to me.
One of Decker's dearest friends, federal judge Robert Dumar.
Imagine somebody who was never negative. Everything was good. Everybody is good. No matter who the person was, he'd find something nice about them.
When you think of Pete, think of all the children he took to Nauticus for getting good grades.
He would meet each one of the children at the bus as they got off. He would shake their hand. He would talk to them about a firm handshake, about looking them in the eye, about maintaining good grades, and and that they could get ahead, and if they needed help in the future, they could come see him.
When you think of Pete, think of the law firm he built from the ground up, law partner Martin Thomas.
He would bring someone in my office. He said, here, you need to fill out these papers for this person because they're an old friend of mine. I want you to help them. And it was clear to me that it was someone that needed help because they couldn't read or write and just needed something filled out. And so we do that.
There's so many things that he touched, whether it be King's Daughters Hospital or the idea of the mermaids.
When you see the mermaids around town, that was Pete and Bess Decker's idea.
They were in Chicago, saw the cows in Chicago, and came back and said, we can put Norfolk on the map with mermaids.
Pete's death has touched everyone who knew him. He and his sons would travel to Buffalo to watch Bruce Smith play football.
I started crying. He was such a permanent fixture in my life.
Wherever he went, he was always bringing fun and happiness. It was like if he entered a room, it was like a light going off.
And he said it time and time again, and that was one of the things he wanted really on his epitaph, to be known as someone who loved his family and loved his city.
Which brings us back to that dash. It was wide for Uncle Pete. We cannot possibly list all the achievements of this wonderful man. In November, there is a gala celebrating 50 years of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It will also be there to honor the 50 years of marriage of Pete and Bess Decker. That is what it was supposed to do, too. Pete and Bess would have been married 50 years December 1st. The gala will now celebrate the life of Peter Decker. They have 3 wonderful sons, wonderful families, and tens of thousands of friends. Tonight at 6, a look back at the life of Peter Decker Jr., fondly known to all as Uncle Pete. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on your side.
So many folks have heartfelt stories about Uncle Pete. Head over to WAVY.com to view photos and videos of years past. We also have some posts on our WAVY TV Facebook page.
Well, we're on your side, getting answers on breaking news in Virginia Beach. It's a SWAT situation in the Kempsville section. It closed streets and sent several schools into lockdown. Police in the area are focusing on a home on Lord Nelson Drive off Lock Lane. 10 on your side's Jason Marks is there now. What's the latest, Jason?
Well, Tom, I can tell you police are taking their time here trying to figure out exactly what they have on their hands. You can see Lock Lane has been shut down. It's been closed for some 6 hours. Lord Nelson just a couple streets down, as police are just really trying to know exactly what is inside this home. Now, here's what we're being told. Earlier today, there was a call from inside that house on Lord Nelson. Police say a man called a relative saying that he shot his father. Now that relative in turn called police. They arrived, but they didn't want to just rush into that house not knowing what was inside. They didn't know if a man was still in there with a gun, and so they didn't want to take any chances. So officials decided to bring out SWAT. SWAT is going meticulously through this process. We've seen them at times bring an armored car out here. At one point, they used beanbags to shoot out the windows, and then they used a pole with a camera attached to see what was inside. We talked with one neighbor who tells us what he saw from there.
And then about 15, 20 minutes ago, I thought I heard about 5 or 6 shots, but I haven't seen anything else happen. But those officers down there have the whole time have been crouched down behind those cars. They haven't been putting their heads out at all.
And when he talks about those shots, those were the beanbags coming from what they call this Bearcat, this armored vehicle that SWAT uses so they're able to get relatively close to the home. They shoot out the windows, then they're able to take in, whether it's a robot or whether they take the pole with the camera attached, and they're able to go and really try to see what's inside there. They've tried to make contact with whoever was in that house. So far they have not had, no one's answered the phone, no one's yelled at them. They did have at one point a megaphone trying to call someone out. So far, no contact with anyone in that house, so they really do not know what's in there. They are taking their time. They don't want to take any chances. So this is what the scene has looked like here for the most part for some 6 hours. Of course, we're going to stay out here as this continues to develop. We'll bring you the latest here during the 90 minutes of news right here on WAVY News 10. But for now, that's the latest in Virginia Beach. Jason Marks, 10 on your side.
Fire prevention at the Rotunda in Norfolk. The Rotunda Condominium Owners Association, management company, and fire investigators met privately this morning to hammer out a safety plan for the downtown building. It remains closed to residents today after a serial arsonist set 5 fires in a little bit more than a week. 10 on your side's Melanie Woodrow has the latest on what's being done to prevent a 6th fire from being set. Melanie?
First thing done, Nicole, the access codes to enter the building have now been changed for the first time in 4 years. Battalion Chief Harry Worley told me that residents were too lax giving out those codes to too many people. After a week of red fire trucks, neon green and yellow were the colors outside the Rotunda today. Signs the building is closed until further notice. As restoration crews clean up water damage, Norfolk Fire and Rescue Battalion Chief Harry Worley says investigators are still gathering evidence.
Fire marshals go through their process looking for clues, looking for any information that can lead them down a path.
Some evidence has already been sent to a forensics lab, but Worley would not say what that evidence was.
How would releasing what you're checking for jeopardize your investigation, since that evidence is already in your possession?
Not only is it just the viewers looking at this, but it's also the arsonist that's looking at this, and they can change their motive. They can change what they're doing. Do I think there's any more of a risk to anybody else in the city at this point? I can't predict what this arsonist is going to do, but I don't think there's any more risks today than there was a week ago.
The fire marshal wants residents to raise the bar when it comes to safety. The Owners Association is currently working on a security plan. In the meantime, the only people with access to the building are restoration contractors and investigators.
We have a presence there 24/7.
On each floor?
No, but at all the entrance points.
Chief Worley would not say how many people, but he did say the investigation would ultimately come with a price tag because of overtime. In addition to the security plan that is being put into place, an independent contractor will have to declare the building's wires, fuses, and circuit breakers are safe before residents are allowed back in. Tonight, new at 6, hear what investigators are doing to catch whoever is responsible. Melanie Woodrow, 10 on your side.
Chief Worley believes residents will be able to move back in within a week.
Norfolk police say a thief went on quite a spree, hitting 6 different businesses since December. He's not even an adult, just 16, and now charged with 8 counts of burglary. This man is accused of sexual assault against a 13-year-old girl. Alexander Reyes is 48 years old, and Newport News police say he had sex with the teen several times since last October. Police are not saying how the two knew each other.
A gas leak forced the evacuation of a Chesapeake high school. Someone smelled gas in a classroom at Western Branch High School at around 8:30 this morning. The fire department responded to the scene and found a gas leak on the roof. School maintenance worked with hazmat crews and stopped the leak. Students returned to class about an hour later. A month after a Portsmouth woman died, an indictment is handed down. Hear what new developments we uncovered today. Plus,
and she will have it no later in the morning. Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
You heard his promise. Here's Gladys. It's Friday morning, and look, the door is locked.
Gladys has no money. What's going on? 10 on Your Side has some answers coming up.
We know the military is making budget cuts. Tonight, 10 on Your Side finds out what this could mean for Langley Air Force Base in Hampton.
Beautiful sunset, few thin clouds out there. We're going to see a lot more of that, though, coming up for tomorrow. Saturday looks pretty good. What about Sunday? Well, we'll tell you about that with our forecast in just a few minutes.
The military is swinging the budget axe. The Air Force is proposing to cut 123 fighters and 133 airlifters as it manages more spending reductions. But 10 on Your Side's Art Kahn is here to explain why there's encouraging news for Langley Air Base in Hampton. Art?
Well, Tom, in his remarks at an Air Force Association event in Washington yesterday, Secretary Donnelly previewed more details about what the Air Force plans to cut. Now, overall, the force will be reduced by 286 aircraft. Of these, 123 will be fighters. Now, that amounts to 7 squadrons, 6 tactical and 1 training out of 60 squadrons. Of these, 102 will be A-10Cs and 21 will be older F-16s. The service is maintaining multi-mission aircraft like the F-22 Raptors that fly out of Langley. In fact, there are plans to modify the F-22 to a common configuration to ensure operational flexibility. The Raptor performs both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions and is the Air Force's newest fighter aircraft. That's the good news, but there is still at least one area of concern. You see, every state will be affected by either equipment or manpower reductions, including Virginia. Now, the Air Force will cut almost 10,000 jobs, 3,900 active duty, 5,100 Air National Guard, and 900 reserves. We've already heard about reports of cutting civilian jobs at Langley, and it would appear there could be other personnel cuts involving now uniformed personnel. A spokesperson for Langley issued a statement to 10 on Your Side late this afternoon saying that before details of the budget are reviewed by Congress, quote, any comment by us would be premature. Art Kahn, 10 on Your Side.
Tax refund trouble. 10 on Your Side continues to work to get answers for customers who say they haven't gotten their money.
I'm inside Mo Money Taxes on Granby Street. This is the scene. A lot of angry people. They want to know where their checks are. This story coming up.
Well, you saw them a few minutes ago. Angry customers are gathering at a business called Mo Money Taxes.
An employee told us a software glitch prevented them from printing refund checks yesterday, but they would be ready this morning. That did not happen. 10 on Your Side, Dan McNamara is live at the Granby Street location, and a lot of angry folks there, huh?
I'm inside the Mo Money Taxes on Granby Street, and this is the scene. Look at this. It's almost been overrun. If you look, these are people, taxpayers. They all want to know where their checks are. They've come to demand them. There's very few people in here who actually work here. It's almost become sort of chaos here, but I found someone who does work here. Your name, sir?
Mario Brady.
And you are the owner of this location?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and tell me, where are these people, what do you tell these people? Where are their checks?
I just got off the phone with the bank. The only reason they hadn't sent me a roster to print new checks because all the information ain't validated yet. When every check is valid, they'll send me the roster. They sent me a roster of about 50 checks, and about 30 of them are going through. The other 20 aren't clearing. I called the bank to see why they weren't clearing. They told me because the system has to be updated. Since I just printed them today, that, yeah, since
And you said they're not clearing. I have a check right here. There are some checks being printed, as you heard them. Some are not clearing. My problem here, sir, this check, an employee wrote this as a receipt. It says $1,930, I believe it's $2. This check is for $131. How do you...
Who said an employee printed?
That's what she got from this store, sir.
Right, and who said an employee wrote that? No?
The woman who gave me this check had a folder, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is this how much you're charging in fees?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's highway robbery.
So these people are going to have their money. They've been told different days. They've been told today. They're all here today.
I've been dealing with the bank directly, and that's the bank. Like I printed checks today, and they've gotten them, but they just weren't good because they simply have to be valid and updated. So
okay.
They'll have the money Monday, though.
They'll have the money Monday.
We told a lot of people Friday, which it did come Friday, but it's just got to be clear.
Okay, they're now saying Monday. Now earlier today, I went to the Tidewater Drive store. Now at that store, store, there was a similar situation. Before that, we wanted to see what happened with Gladys Johnson. Let's take a look at that. Here was the promise that was made to her.
Then they will get it tomorrow morning.
You're sure?
I'm positive.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
You heard his promise. Here's Gladys. It's Friday morning, and look. The door is locked.
Now, right after that, I went to the Tidewater Drive situation. Similar to here, not as many people were off work, so not as many people were there. Here's what happened when I confronted a manager in that store.
What's the problem, sir? The problem is these people. The problem is you have their money, and they don't have their money. That's the problem.
Okay, we have checks in. We don't have.
Do you have her check? Do you have her check? Do they?
We're not the IRS. We can't make us drop check. They send them to us to print out, so we don't know.
The IRS told these people. The IRS told these people their check is in your account. The check in your account is not in their hands.
And these are all the checks we have in. We can't make the IRS print us anymore. We can't do that. We can't do anything.
And you just heard from the owner here at the Granby store. The checks will be here Monday. These people don't know what to believe. We're going to keep you updated on this situation. We'll be back at 6 o'clock. For now, live on Granby Street, I'm Ann McNamara, 10 on your side.
Certainly confusing there. Well, 10 on your side brought this to the attention of the Attorney General's office and the IRS. Federal privacy laws will not allow them to confirm whether or not they are investigating unless the state takes public action. Here's what you need to do if you don't have your check. File a complaint with the IRS and with the Office of Consumer Affairs. Go to WAVY.com, click on this story at the bottom. We provided links for how to file a complaint.
Now, in high definition, your Super Dapper 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
We've got thin cloudiness moving in advance of the rain. Now, the rain is going to take about 24 hours before it gets here. It's likely going to be late tomorrow afternoon, but we've got cloud cover moving on in. Saturday looks good. Saturday looks pretty good. It'll warm on up. We'll see a little sunshine to start the day, and then the clouds move in. But this implies that Sunday does not look so good, and that's really what's going on. Saturday night and Sunday morning especially do not look good in terms of rainfall. You'll see all the rain way out off toward the Mississippi Valley and points westward from there. It's going to get us. We are going to see the rainfall move on in. As far as cloud cover, we've got some very, very thin clouds over the region right now. It's going to make for a beautiful sunset. It already is, really. Sun's getting low enough in the sky. But the thicker clouds are going to start to move in by tomorrow morning. 7 o'clock, they're knocking on the door. By the noon hour, we got clouds moving in. West-southwesterly winds at 10 miles an hour. A decent day for tomorrow for the most part. And really the rain's not likely to show up until about 5 or 6 in the afternoon. And there's where we are by 7 o'clock in the evening. Light easterly wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Take you through the overnight hours. East winds 10 to 15 at midnight. We got some patches of more moderate rain throughout the region. There's where we are overnight. Again, a good solid area of rain. 10, 20 mile an hour winds Sunday morning. Take you to the noon hour on Sunday, 15 to 20. And the rain lets up for the most part. We can still see a stray shower coming up during the afternoon hours of Sunday, but the low pressure system itself is going to scoot on out to sea. Now, one last thing on this time-lapse sequence into the future, what we're looking at by Sunday evening is possibly a little bit of a mixture of rain, sleet, and snow from basically the northern portion of the Middle Peninsula through the northern neck, perhaps into the northern half of Accomack County. 15 to 25 mile an hour winds. Storm itself is kicked on out to sea. We could see a flake or two of snow overnight on Sunday night and into early Monday morning, but it's not likely to accumulate, so I'm not real concerned about it. How much rain do we get? It's going to be kind of miserable Saturday night. First part of the day on Sunday, likely around an inch, perhaps a little bit more than that in some areas. Tomorrow morning, it's going to start out cool, 33, 34, 36, and warm up during the day to around 54, 56 degrees. So nice day, but cloud cover moving in and the rain moving in, of course, through Sunday. There's where we are during the afternoon on Sunday, around 48 degrees. Absolutely gorgeous sunset is beginning. These very thin clouds overspreading the region. There's a sundog out there, just a refraction. It's gone now. But you can see how low the sun is and how chilly it is through most of the region. Temperatures generally in the upper 40s to around the 50-degree mark. Tomorrow, 55. Good chance of rain for late Saturday into early Sunday morning. Temperatures remaining on the cool side.
You're looking live at the home of Super Bowl 46. Kickoff is still 2 days away, but there's a lot going on tonight. Hear from football fans about the pregame excitement in Indy next.
Susan G. Komen is responding to the backlash, what today's decision means for Planned Parenthood. That's tonight at 5:30.
2 days away from the kickoff for Super Bowl 46. The weekend party has officially started.
And fans are pouring into Indianapolis. Let's go live now. A look at Lucas Oil Stadium, where the excitement is building by the hour. While the New York Giants and New England Patriots get ready, football fans are getting pictures and autographs during the pregame build-up.
Got some Clay Matthews, Matthew Stafford, DeMarco Murray, Priest Holmes.
For the hoopla, for the excitement, for the people, and it has exceeded our expectations.
Right, that
What was
spirit
that?
there. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected in Indy. Most don't have a ticket to the Super Bowl and won't ever see the inside of the stadium. Who needs that? Just be there. The only place you can see the Patriots and Giants play in Super Bowl 46 is right here on WAVY TV 10. Today's show kicks off pregame festivities at 8 a.m. 6 hours of pregame coverage begins at noon, with the game scheduled to kick off at 6:30.
Try a mohawk since you're a Patriots fan.
Yes.
It's National National Wear Red to Work Day to promote heart disease or heart health among women. Tonight, we're on your side with the advice from the experts on how every American can lower their risk.
Then at 5:30, a collection of snakes, spiders, lizards found on a Virginia college campus. Here where workers made that unusual discovery.
Stephanie?
He has it at 6, but you have it at 5.
Almost attorney decided to call me back now.
That's lay off. You may have noticed a lot of people wearing red. There's a purpose behind it, to raise awareness of heart disease in women, although heart disease is the #1 killer of men as well. Doctors say 80% of heart disease cases are preventable. Cardiologists say it comes down to 3 things: eat 5, sleep 8, move 10. Here it is. Rather than focusing on what you can't eat, focus on what you can. 5 fruits and vegetables a day, 5 servings. Sleeping 8 hours or more can lower your risk for heart disease, and it can help you lose weight. And just 10 minutes of moderate activity a day can have a huge impact on your heart health. Also, stand rather than sit as often as possible. That, too, can help the old ticker. We posted a slideshow of National Wear Red Day on WAVY.com. And stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.